Never mind. All right, welcome back to the Acer Team Story Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a best of 9 between Millennium and Complexity Dignitas. Score is currently 2-0 in the favor of our player spawning here in the bottom right. The blue Terran player, Dayshi, representing Millennium.
Upper left as the red Zerg, it is Tefel. T for Tefel, T for Terran, whatever.
Yeah, thank you, Sesame Street.
Something else I never watched.
Dude, what did you do with your childhood? Like read books or something? What is wrong with you?
Well, first of all, yeah, I did read books, but I was like Dragon Ball Z, Power Rangers. Apparently, I was really into Barney too.
Dude, the Green Ranger's song he would play when he would summon the Dragon
Dude, he was
Zord.
my first crush. I love that guy. Green White Ranger is just my favorite, and he's still pretty.
Dude, he does like MMA
cool.
fighting now or something.
Yeah,
like,
he's
crazy.
still pretty legit.
Alright, well, Zombie Grubs crushes aside, guys. We got some pretty good matches set up ahead of us. Even if Tefel goes down, Dayshi can take the 3-0. There's still some pretty good players left. There's Select, of course, for Dignitas. There's Kendrill's for Complexity, and I actually don't know if they've ever dipped into the Academy roster or not, but Dayshi kicked a lot of ass yesterday in the Acer Team Story Cup in Nation Wars, and we find him once again in the Acer Team Story Cup, leading with the 2-0. Not a bad just couple of last days of StarCraft for this guy.
Do we have any math to go off of on, like, you know, what does this mean for what team if they get in the playoffs or something?
No, Complexity Dignitas has no chance at this point. They're just playing for, like, it's playing sake. I don't know if this affects Millennium or not. I'm pretty sure that they. Oh, actually, did they finish off 4? I'm not sure. Acer Team Story Cup Season 3. Oh, wait, you're here. I should be sending you to Google instead of me. Sorry, I'm in solo cast.
Oh, you're so on top of it.
All right, so as it stands right now, Millennium's also not got a chance to get the playoffs, I don't think. They're 5-5 in map score at the moment. Top 4 teams right now are Acer, Liquid, Axiom, and Mouse Sports. I think if Mouse Sports loses, there's a chance My Insanity can overtake them, maybe? I don't know how map score filters into things. Map score is a bit of a finicky thing, so Mouse Sports still has a match to play out yet tomorrow, and if their map score is horrible, maybe that changes things. If they go 7-4, because right now they're 43-32 and My Insanity is 41-40. So those look to be the only 2 teams that are up for grabs at the moment. But yeah, it's really nice to know that Axiom, Liquid, and Acer have locked in top 3 at the moment. I think Millennium at this point too, they're just playing to make sure they don't get relegated out or anything. Like if they were to lose this series, it would put them tied with Empire-Fnatic. I don't know if that would push them below it. Actually, I think this match might not even matter looking at the current standings. Because Invictus Gaming, Evil Geniuses, Neurosoft, and Complexity Dignitas are bottom 4.
Well, alright then. I just unhyped that.
Yes, thanks for bringing that up. I'm really glad you brought that to the broadcast. Hey, you guys remember when I was solo casting before?
Whatever, man. It was important. I'm sure some people had the same question on their minds. Can't keep them in the dark.
It's a good point, but the same kind of point like that I had brought up last game with QXC is StarCraft 2 is a really competitive game. These guys might not have a series that could ride them to the finals. This might not be a series that takes them to the playoffs, but it's still all about winning for the players. And let's not forget how many people are obsessed with their Aligulac scores. I mean, straight up obsessed.
Yeah, there's also something about maybe like contracts. I don't know. They have to like play out other games, but yeah, competitive spirit, awesome.
Woo!
Yeah.
Alright, they're basically taken from Tefel. This is not a fun map to take a 3rd on, but the nice thing is you know that the rush distances are so far from base to base. This isn't exactly getting rushed anytime soon.
Yeah, no. There's no such thing as a rush, alright?
Not on this map, not in these spawn locations, certainly not.
Slowsh.
Well, actually, hang on. Since you're awake, this has nothing to do with the Acer Team Story Cup, and I apologize. You see the whole thing with Gumiho's in the booth falling on him?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Oh my god, what the hell? I woke up and the first thing I read, because I thought we weren't casting today, so of course I go to Reddit right away, and I was looking at that. I felt so bad. He looked like he was so hurt, but I guess like he said afterwards, like it didn't really hurt. It just surprised me. But yeah, dude, I don't know. I'd be throwing a fit if like the booth fell on me.
Yeah, I just imagine like Griffin starting to cry.
Right? Well, not even cry, just like start swearing and cussing, get my sponsors all mad at me, like WTF? What is this amateur hour?
I always like. It's always fun to see people like reach their head when I get hit in the head because like there's rarely ever blood. It's like never ever that serious. But the one time that I got hit in the head and I did that, there was actually blood. So you can't blame the guy for looking.
Wow, that got really like dark real fast. So
Oh,
guys,
it's not that dark.
this one time I was bleeding from my head. Like no big deal.
Well, yeah, I got hit in rugby. It's like it didn't even hurt. It severed the nerves. It's fine. Anywho.
Well, actually, Roach is coming out here really fast at Tefel. I forgot entirely who we're casting from our Zombie Cup. It's Tefel, the king of Roach Hydra.
Yes, that's true. And that is exactly what he's going into. He already has the +1 missile weapons well on its way, so it's definitely not just these roaches that help protect the third or, try and get some free SC vehicles at the bunker. No, it's Roach Hydra. But, I mean, we've talked about this before. This map, we're just like, no, don't do it. Because if you don't kill them with that 2-2 timing, then it's so hard to defend against drops.
Yeah, and it's a lot better for the other spawn locations on this map. But the thing is, guys, you gotta understand, for Tefel, he's a player who does this consistently on every map, not just the ones that are really good for like merry-go-round. For Dayshi, I'm very positive he's had a lot of times facing against Tefel in the past. He probably knows this is gonna be the case, and quite frankly, he's the guy I expect to take advantage of this. Now, why did he just sit there with that? He had the watchtower and everything. He should have seen that coming from a mile away.
Yeah, he had enough time for the roaches to get all comfy and cozy up next to him.
Yeah, that was a bit awkward because they walked through this smoke too. Like, that couldn't have been more awkward of an engagement. But spreading creep like crazy is going to be quite essential to this. As you pointed out before, it's going to be difficult enough with things like a Muscular Augments and Galurial Constitution to respond to drops with Roach Hydra. It's even harder if you don't have creep spread. So Tefel's already going absolutely ham on the creep spread.
Yeah. Okay, so what Tefel's doing right now is getting a lot of roaches and hitting at a 1-1, then follow probably with a 2-2 with Hydralisk. But this one, some players choose not to go for this. They'll only attack with the 2-2 Roach Hydra. So Dayshi might think that he has more time to prepare and get bunkers than he really has. Or he's forgotten who he's playing and doesn't realize that it is, in fact, going to be a roach. A lot of roaches.
He actually doesn't have any room to put a lot of bunkers down because the way he places barracks here. This kind of sucks, actually. First bunker's been pretty pulled into. I think he's just going to lift this off. He knows that this is the danger, so... that's the thing, though. Like, if you know you're playing against stuff with this Roach Hydra, this is Rifkin. It's Way Station. Take a freaking island base! I'm just saying. We're not going to see Vengeful Stacks dropping Overlords on the top right corner of the map anytime soon, but he will creep it up to make sure that nothing goes down.
These roaches are going to be quite a hassle, especially because of the barracks positioning. Those supply depots will go down with barely any attacks.
The Marauders actually block out and get stuck on top of the bunker. This is so horrible for Dayshi to try and engage on top of.
But this is not... this Marine Marauder army is still too powerful with the medevacs.
Yeah. If it wasn't for the medevacs, this would look horrible. And, oh no, the take admin. In the middle of an engagement too, like there's sometimes where you lag out and you're like, whatever, right? But like this is in the middle of the heart of an engagement right now.
Awesome.
Trying to zoom in for a cool angle. There we go. Dayshi firing away like crazy. He will hold this attack, but for Tefel, this is roaches, right? Like this isn't the Hydralisk attack. This isn't the dedicated I'm screwed from this, but he does bleed out a good chunk of his army. However, you'll notice, guys, he maintains a huge army lead behind this.
Yeah. His follow-up attack might not be as powerful as it would have been should he have just, saved all the roaches, but he did enough damage to definitely justify what he did. And now it's up to Dayshi to recognize that just going for bio, it's like, like sometimes we've seen Terran just barely push back with just bio, but more often we see them be really defensive with bunkers and tanks and secure the lead. Because I know that that's the best timing that the Roach Hydra player has is with 2-2, and if they just wait, then they can bust them.
Yeah, I think the tank count too. It's really nice and really strong up until Hive Tech. Once Blinding Clouds start getting involved, the game really shifts direction. But for now, Tefel's just got this army that, if caught in the open unsieged, A move, he takes the fight, I feel, even with these medevacs. But for Dayshi, it's important that he keeps producing the medevacs. Because we've seen as well, while tanks are good, it's medevacs that really carry the bio through towards the end of the game.
Yeah, of course. Roach Hydra doesn't really have that burst damage that Banelings do. So medevacs can technically out-heal in certain scenarios. So
it's always funny to see, too. Because you're like, oh, 13 medevacs? What a waste of supply. Oh, wait, that won the game. Never mind.
Yeah. Getting caught out like this might still be okay for Tefel.
I think Dayshi needs to fall back. There's even slow lings to buffer the hits. He can't kite because of the slow lings.
He got a little tunnel vision, maybe a little right there. He saw only like a portion of Tefel's armor. And he's like, oh, that's not so bad. And then the other half came forward. And now he's in a bit of a situation.
You know, this looks a little bit odd, but I kind of feel necessary at the same time. It distracts so many of the Hydralisks and the Roaches on the right. Siege Tanks do manage to siege up. He's fighting away from the bunker. Either way, he should be able to push this back. And for Tefel, how much is he going to dedicate to this?
Of course, you always lose the Hydras. Even with their speed boost, you always lose them. So it's better to go ahead and try and get the last few attacks off. Yeah, but that means that...
There's no muscular augments either way.
Oh, okay, well, even if there was, it wouldn't have mattered.
I feel like we're watching Starbow, slow Lings, slow Hydralisks, Roaches pushing like this weird amalgamation of units that is far from standard, but...
Yeah, I mean, Tefel, he's not down and out yet, but his like strongest timing is usually when you have 2-2 and your Terran opponent doesn't. Well, Dayshi's always had 2-2, so he's been winning these engagements okay, and every time Tefel loses an engagement, he loses drastically more supply, as the engagement goes on, because the Hydras are just kind of free after a point.
Well, bleeding out left and right both players, but Dayshi I kind of feel securing that third, something Tefel is trying to prevent from happening, so it lets him take the lead here. He is also moving on with those level 3 weapon upgrades, something Tefel's going to be without. He doesn't have Hive Tech, he doesn't have those Vipers coming out anytime soon, and trying to tango with his bio is looking just worse and worse every time he engages.
Yeah. Of course, he didn't get a fourth behind this at all either. No tech, no expansion. It really was an attack that was meant to break Dayshi, and, mostly because of the earlier Roach attack, I would say that's like, it took a lot away from what we usually see with Roach and Hydras. It wasn't as powerful. And Tefel might pay the price in this game, as, he didn't do a lot of damage. Dayshi's now comfortable enough to go ahead and start dropping everywhere. He's going to start taking the map soon.
Okay, well, this first drop is going to be a bit of a nuisance, but Tefel's already on its way to defend against it. Problem is, this opens up the left side of the map for Dayshi to push.
Yeah. It's what you do on this map, or any map that really lets you, but if you can...
Oh, Tefel went the wrong way. Went to the third, the goal was the main.
Yeah.
This isn't going to be game-ending damage. Hydra's already here. This could have been much worse. That medevac was 6 HP, though. You better be careful no one on board sneezes. Jesus.
Yeah, there's a drop off to the third as well, and now he's pushing into the fourth. So the drop of the third didn't seem to do a whole lot, but this fourth is going to have to be given up.
I like the siege things so you can fall back into them. The Hydras came out, though, really not that scary. What makes Roach Hydra so scary, guys, is having the Roaches on the front lines to be the extension of health for these glass cannon Hydralisks. But the Roaches are a little bit too late to the party. Now the Hydra's able to get in good engagement, but the Stim's going to have to just abandon the tank, sadly.
Yeah. Those slow Lings do a surprisingly good job of being fodder long enough.
I mean, it's weird to consider, guys, but the whole point of those slow Lings is, well, Dayshi tries to sort of stutter step away. They auto-attack the Zerglings instead of the Hydralisks, and that's the only real job they have. The only real goal is to soak the extra hits. The Hydras are the focus of the army, and everything else is just basically health for those Hydralisks.
Yeah. Tefel is max again, and Dayshi still, having a little bit of trouble getting up to 200, but this Doom drop...
That's not, I don't know, like a Doom drop. It's a big drop.
Yeah, it's like... There's like 3. There's no tanks in it. Mostly Marauders,
this is
too.
like almost the Apocalypse. Not quite. Sort of there. We haven't spilled the goat's blood yet, but Telfus is going to take this as the instigation to go for a full-on attack. And he's going to win the fight on this side of the field. He's going to take a good chunk of the tanks. So the reinforcements might not be able to do this because there's no medevacs. Specifically, actually, because there's no medevacs, Tefel's going to actually wreck this army. 2 medevacs flying forward. Are going to get focused down pretty quickly. Oh, Dayshi needs these so much more than he realizes.
Yeah, still has a few left over, and he will have to wait a little while longer. But the thing is that while Dayshi, he's still producing, he still has reinforcements, Tefel doesn't, so eventually that army on the other side of the map will be cleaned up entirely.
Drones pulled into the mix. You know this bad when. That one Hydra tank that didn't die, by the way, finally gets hatched out. Gonna focus on medevacs. Marauders are actually starting to go down because there's no Marines here. It's just the drones, the citizens. They'll hold. Picks up to get out of here. The one Hydra's killed like 3 medevacs.
Tefel did destroy the 3rd command center, but Dayshi is on a 4th one, and his army, like I said, you can't leave with your Roach Hydra army, so it does die. And he's also Dayshi's also gonna get Tefel's 4th. That leftover, not quite Doom drop.
Maybe not. It's gonna be close. Hydra's merchant.
Got a stim. Oh, never mind. Yeah, isn't he focusing it?
Yeah, stim. Use it before you lose it. All right, so
true,
both
if
players...
you don't use it.
It's another topic for another day. 54 drones, 31 workers apiece. Like both players losing quite a bit here, but Dayshi, as you pointed out, I think his production is what's going to hold him strong here. Now, granted, if he didn't take this base to the south, I'd say he'd be out of the game right now, quite frankly. But Mulin like a madman trying to get that production back up. Problem remains, though, not a lot of medevacs here.
Yeah, but Tefel's army is just... Oh, the Fungals would... even with the Fungals, it wouldn't be that good.
Splits. Yeah, just going to go for a couple of Marines instead.
Yeah, let's not forget that Dayshi, you know, he has the upgrades, and Roach Hydra just isn't good in small numbers.
No, it's one of those things that just hits this sort of critical mass that becomes so dangerous. But I think for Tefel, I mean, the one thing he did really intelligently, and I gotta give him props, that one Hydra's here, MVP, picking off like 5 medevacs. Every engagement, he focuses down the medevacs. He knows that's the biggest thing that's gonna stop him. But you know, it was a little bit scary losing that Hive. He's so far off of Vipers now, and that would have been his easy peasy, like, you know, fungal growth of Marines inside a Blinding Cloud. Haha, thanks for the army.
And of course, Dayshi being Terran just lifts up his main command center and takes it as his would-be third.
Well, Dayshi being Terran, just period. It's Dayshi. This army composition, though, for Dayshi is, I mean, he's on 3-3. He's got so many Sea Shanks with this. He should be able to take this fight. And this could be the end of the game for Tefel if he takes this very poorly. Honestly, not worth sacrificing the base, of course, but this is not a fight he can necessarily run into siege tanks for, and that's kind of what he's doing. He needs to bait Dayshi's army back, but instead gets baited further into the tanks. He will focus a couple of these down now, though. This may end up working out for him.
Yeah, I would say not enough bio to cover those tanks. The tank count was really good. Well, now it's down to 0. But if he had more bio, you know, for instance, if he had waited for reinforcements, he definitely would have completely demolished Tefel. But as it is, Tefel still, you know, he can't really make a whole lot. No, down below 100 supply.
I mean, there's... Tefel's feeling really pressured right now, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
He's going to go for attack here to the 4th. This might draw Dayshi's attention back. Dayshi doesn't know how much Tefel does or doesn't have is the problem. So this might look like a small segmented amount of the army, but it's really everything Tefel has.
Yeah, you know. If he gets the 4th, you know, that'd be great and all, but then you have another command center again to go ahead and go take your 4th.
Gonna snipe it though with the Hydras. This is not an easy loss to take.
Well, the natural of Dayshi's no longer mining, so he still will technically have 2 bases if he just lifts.
Tefel's made a bit of a mistake. He's producing a lot of units when the hatch is about to go down. Might be better off canceling these units that are about to die upon hatching. Not a lot of times where Zerg player wants to cancel, but this is one of the rare opportunities. Situations. 17 drones die from that base at the same time. Tefel back down to basically 1 base, well, 1.5 base mining. I mean, just recently got established, but his drone count's pretty low. His income's looking pretty shoddy, and quite frankly, Dayshi is starting to spiral out of control. It took a while, but he's finally at that point where his army supply is just overwhelming.
Yeah. He is on only 1 base. He can't really afford to scan and take out any creep, but it doesn't really have to. It's not a whole lot of benefit that the Roach Hydra gets on creep, and unless they're running away.
Well, I mean, there's still the speed. You can never undervalue the speed bonus, but you're right. It's pretty much at this point negligible. He's just got too much.
It's not like Banelings, you know.
Yeah, Banelings are the difference of winning a fight versus losing a fight. Roach Hydra is just like getting a couple extra units.
yeah, something like that.
Alright, well, this is looking like it might be the end for Tefel here, guys. We'll see what sort of miracle he can pull out of his ass, because that's what it's going to take to hold this. He did have a good hold earlier, but there's no energy in the Infestors. There's no Burrow either. GG is going to be called. And Dayshi, oh boy, now with a 3-0 lead. Let's knock on wood. Can we see 2 all kills today from Terran players?
Dayshi